Imagine a world where every dissenting voice is instantly silenced. All news reports, all online posts, every conversation, they all march in lockstep with the approved viewpoint. Transgender debates? Gone. Heated arguments about Israel? Eliminated. Sounds like a dystopian nightmare, doesn't it? This chilling vision is exactly what robust freedom of speech prevents. It's why my life's calling is in constitutional litigation and what I fight against every day in courts around the country. In our real world, the right to speak one's mind is a safety valve that keeps truth alive and power in check. Yet today, amid fears of misinformation and crazier opinions, we hear growing calls to curb dangerous speech for the public good. It's more important than ever to remember why free speech must be protected. That's what today's commentary is about. Centuries ago, two great thinkers, John Milton and John Stuart Mill, passionately defended free expression against censors of their day. The framers of our Constitution, Jefferson, Madison, Franklin, all embraced Milton's approach to open debate and discourse. Milton, a 17th century poet, penned Areopagitica as a fiery rebuke of government licensing of the press. Mill, a 19th century philosopher, wrote on liberty, one of history's most powerful essays on individual freedom and open debate. Their arguments are not dry museum pieces. They're living ideas that resonate in today's battle over what can and cannot be said. Today I break down the top reasons drawn from Milton and Mill for safeguarding even the speech we hate or fear. These aren't partisan talking points, but philosophical principles that underpin a free society. On to the first reason. None of us, not the government, not the experts, not the majority, is infallible. Human beings make mistakes. As Mill bluntly put it, all silencing of discussion is an assumption of infallibility. The first reason to protect free speech is the simple fact that the dissenting opinion, well, it might be true. If we shut someone up because we're sure they're wrong, we act as if we possess an absolute truth, a dangerously arrogant assumption. History is full of examples where the majority was dead wrong and a lone heretic proved right in the end. From scientific breakthroughs to social reforms, progress often begins as an unpopular or incorrect idea. Dr. Semmelweis, a Hungarian physician in the 1840s, had that crazy idea that doctors should wash their hands. He was rejected by the medical status quo of the day. Or how about the Wuhan lab leak theory? Almost all social media suppressed that idea as dangerous COVID misinformation at first. Now scholars treat it as a topic of serious inquiry. Protecting speech, even views we consider we just know are false, ensures we remain humble and open to correction. It acknowledges that any of us could be the one in error, and it's only by hearing out others that we can discover our own mistakes. Reason 2. Even when an idea is false, open debate is how we expose its falsehood and discover the truth. John Milton passionately argued that truth has nothing to fear from the free exchange of ideas. Let truth and falsehood grapple. Whoever knew truth put to the worse in a free and open encounter. In other words, if truth and falsehood are allowed to wrestle in the public square, truth will eventually win. Bad ideas are most effectively discredited by counterargument and evidence, not suppressing them. When misinformation spreads, the solution Milton and Mill offer is more speech, factual corrections, better ideas, rather than heavy-handed censorship. Why? Because censorship doesn't persuade anyone. It just drives ideas underground. The ideas get weirder, sometimes they become violent. But if false claims are confronted openly, people can see errors exposed in real time. Free speech creates a self-correcting marketplace of ideas where truth gains strength by defeating falsehood. This sunlight of open debate is the best disinfectant for falsities, far more effective than forcing silence. Reason number 3. What about ideas we know are true? Why allow people to attack them or spread doubt? Mill's answer was insightful. If a true belief isn't challenged, it gets held as mere dead dogma, not a living truth. In plain terms, even correct ideas wither when they're insulated from debate. We come to hold them blindly without understanding why they're true. Allowing open criticism and controversy keeps our truths vibrant and well-grounded. When someone questions a widely held truth, however irritating that may be, it forces those who believe the truth to defend it with reasoning and evidence. This process sharpens our understanding and prevents intellectual stagnation. Mill warned that if society ever forbids questioning of orthodox ideas, people will accept those ideas not as reasoned knowledge, but as simple prejudice. Sound familiar? In a free speech environment, good ideas continually prove themselves, and bad ideas fall away under scrutiny. Our beliefs remain alive, dynamic, and connected to reality, not just unexamined slogans. Reason number 4. Free speech isn't only about grand societal truth-seeking, it's also about personal freedom and growth. Every individual has the right to develop their own beliefs and moral compass. What Milton called the freedom to act according to conscience above all liberties. We grow as thinkers by encountering a variety of ideas, grappling with them, and coming to our own conclusions. If authorities decide for us what we can read or hear, they essentially infantilize the public, denying us the exercise of our critical faculties. I like to think of this as the importance of keeping individual moral agency. Milton argued that reading even wrong or evil ideas has value because it tests and strengthens our virtue and our understanding. A society that protects free speech treats its members as adults capable of reason rather than children who must be shielded from every potential harmful idea. Moreover, self-expression is a core aspect of our human dignity. John Stuart Mill believed that individuality and human flourishing depend on the freedom to voice our own thoughts openly, to follow our own conscience in the matter of opinion. Protecting speech means trusting individuals to think and choose for themselves, a principle at the heart of classical liberal and conservative traditions. It's through this liberty of conscience that innovations are born and each person's character is forged. The final reason: free speech is the citizen's greatest protection against the abuse of power. Censorship has always been the tool of tyrants and dogmatists. Milton and Mill knew that once a government or any authority can decide which ideas are allowed, it's a short path to oppression. Mill observed that silencing an unpopular opinion is just as wrong when done with majority approval as it is under a dictator. The tyranny of the majority can be as stifling as the tyranny of a king. Protecting minority speech, even that speech we dislike, keeps the majority honest and in check. It ensures that new ideas can challenge the status quo, and it forces leaders to face criticism rather than ruling unchecked. I like to think of free speech as being the immune system of society. It allows people to call out corruption, argue against bad policies, and warn of impending dangers without fear. Think of the whistleblowers, reformers, visionaries in history who spoke up against prevailing authority. Often they were first condemned or silenced as troublemakers. A free speech society makes sure the next whistleblower can speak up. As Milton famously urged, "Give me the liberty to know, to utter, and to argue freely according to conscience above all liberties." This liberty to speak one's mind is what stands between a free society and the dark, silent world of uniformity we imagined at the start of this video. The arguments of John Milton, arguments considered incorporated into the founding of our republic, remind us that free speech is not just one value among many, it's the foundation of every other freedom. It is how we pursue truth, correct our errors, and grow both intellectually and morally. It is how we hold the powerful accountable and avoid slipping into complacency or, worse yet, authoritarianism. Yes, free speech means bad ideas will sometimes circulate, and in the digital age, misinformation can spread lightning fast. That's a real challenge, but the solution isn't to abandon the principle of open debate. The solution is to fight bad ideas with better ideas. As Milton bravely argued in 1644, we must trust truth to grapple with falsehood in that open field. And as Mill echoed, we must never assume we have everything so perfectly right that we can justify silencing others. In a world fraught with controversy, defending free speech requires courage and faith. Courage to allow the expression of ideas we strongly reject, and faith that in the long run, truth and wisdom will prevail. Protecting free speech isn't about aiding one party or ideology. It's about preserving the mechanism that lets society learn and improve and grow. That's what I'm committed to every day. So the next time you hear an idea that makes you angry, makes you fearful, remember the voices of Milton and Mill. Rather than rushing to ban it, engage with it, test it, counter it. This process can be messy. It's even painful at times, but it's the price of liberty. And as history shows, it's a price well worth paying for a future where truth can triumph and freedom can endure. Above all liberties, give me the freedom to know, to utter, and to argue as my conscience dictates. That rallying cry from Milton rings as true today as ever. Free speech is our inheritance and our responsibility to guard for generations to come. Let truth and falsehood grapple freely and trust that truth will not lose in a fair fight. I'm thankful you joined us today for this constitutional commentary. My job is to bring my lifetime of experience in constitutional litigation to equip you with the tools to solve today's constitutional problems. Join me next episode as we explore more constitutional quandaries.